Debbie and I were out in Montana, the beautiful town of Red Lodge, Montana, for a concert. It was great, but we were glad to get out of there before it started snowing a couple of days later. But, of course, it's been a little wet around here. I think this guitar, yep, that guitar's decided to... That's better. Decided to change a little bit, and we're glad the weather changed from the drought this summer. Our pasture in the back now is all green, and the cows are happy, and we're happy too, by God. So here we go with a song appropriate to the season. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. When the sun goes down in Dublin town, the colors last for hours. Oh, the lights go on, the night's a song, and the streets are paved with gold. A gentle mist like heaven's kiss, like teardrops off an angel's wings. Don't you know you'll cleanse your soul with a walk in the Irish rain? Oh, Catherine, take my hand, I got 3 pounds and change, and I'll sing you a song of love again. And when I get too old to sing, we'll walk in the Irish rain. Forevermore I've stepped ashore, my sailing days are over. Oh, for time and tide, I'm by your side, together we'll grow old. I put my sea bags in the bin and brought these pretty flowers. Oh, kiss me, Kate, we'll celebrate before the bloom is gone. Oh, Catherine, take my hand, I got 3 pounds and change, and I'll sing you a song of love again. And when I get too old to sing, we'll walk in the Irish rain. A tinker and a tailor and a tired old sailor, they all get together and they start to play. They sing their songs the whole night long and shout to the break of day. A pretty little lady with a glass of stout, sipping it down till the foam runs out. She'll help her old man home again with a walk in the Irish rain. Oh, Catherine, take my hand, I got 3 pounds and change, and I'll sing you a song of love again. And when I get too old to sing, we'll walk in the Irish rain. When the sun goes down in Dublin town, the colors last for hours. Oh, the lights go on, the night's a song, and the streets are paved with gold. A gentle mist like heaven's kiss, like teardrops off an angel's wings. Don't you know you'll cleanse your soul with a walk in the Irish rain? Oh, Catherine, take my hand, I've got 3 pounds and change, and I'll sing you a song of love again. And when I get too old to sing, we'll walk in the Irish rain. Oh, Catherine, take my hand, I got 3 pounds and change, and I'll sing you a song of love again. And when I get too old to sing, we'll walk in the Irish rain. I love playing with Doug Smith. My God, we've got a special guest here that's going to get on stage a little bit later on as well. But right now we're going to do a song that Doug selected. And only a true Gordon Lightfoot geek would know this song. It's a song that was the first song on his Sunday concert album, which came out in 1969, or it was a taping of a 1969 concert, a real landmark recording. You go back and listen to that now, and particularly considering the technology then, and you say, how the hell did they get that so damn good?
Yeah, one of the albums that kind of changed my guitar playing life in high school was Don Quixote by Gordon Lightfoot. I thought, ooh, this guy's really good. I'm going to get something else by him. And the record store had Sunday concerts, so I got that and practically memorized the whole thing, including this first song.
And these songs, we're going to do a couple of other Gordon Lightfoot songs tonight. We are doing at the big Gordon Lightfoot concert on the 17th, which would have been his 85th birthday. And the songs that we're doing tonight are songs Doug and I have never performed on stage before, so are you in for a treat? Not saying what kind of a treat. No, it's going to be great. But we love playing this song, and it's called In a Window Pane.
I looked into a window pane last evening in a city far away. I was feeling sad and blue. I wondered then if I should really stay, wanting someone to be with me in the light of this uncertain time. Waiting by the window for the man inside to please make up his mind. Will you be one who passed through but never saw, never knowing, never feeling anything? Will you live your whole life through never knowing what to do? Will you be one who passed through but never saw? I walked along a roadway to a fountain where lovers come to meet. A hobo walked up to me. I could tell he didn't have enough to eat. He said, "Good sir, you look so kind, and though the years have stripped me to the bone, it seems I am the better man, for in this place I've never walked alone." Will you be one who passed through but never saw, never knowing, never feeling anything? Will you live your whole life through never knowing what to do? Will you be one who passed through but never saw? My friendly, when your telephone ain't giving out no calls, when the seasons come to haunt you, will you still find springtime in the fall? And when you're on your island, will you wave at any ship that passes by? And will you feed a hungry man? I thank you, sir, now I'll just say goodbye. Don't you be one who passed through but never saw, never knowing, never feeling anything. Will you live your whole life through never knowing what to do? Will you be one who passed through but never saw? Will you live your whole life through never knowing what to do? Will you be one who passed through but never saw? Thanks very much.
So this 12-string lurks in my closet most of the time. I've got this Martin 12-string that I really like to play. It's the oldest guitar that I've got, but this one, as far as pure age goes, is the oldest. It's a 1965 Gibson B45, and if you'll notice the color and the shape of it, it's exactly the same guitar that he had on the front cover of Sundown, except there was a pin bridge on that guitar, and this has a trapeze kind of bridge arrangement. So the good news is the top didn't peel off 15 years ago. The bad news is it kind of plays like a telephone pole, but it sounds authentic, sure enough. There are a couple of people here tonight who I played this song for their wedding, and also a good friend of mine who I've known for a long time, Terry Prohaska's wife, Neva, who loves this song. So Doug and I are going to do this song this evening. It's a good song for the autumn. How many people are married out there tonight? Married? How many people have been married for a long time? How many people feel like they've been married for a long time? Notice my wife over there against the wall. She's got her hands in the air and she's waving like a wave at a football game. I like the way that your hair falls away as the night brings a candle to you. And I like to stare as you run down the stairs to the light where the landing shines through. How many fallen leaves does it take to believe that autumn has finally come? The weather's grown colder and we've both grown older, so hard to believe we're still one. Let's dance that old dance once more. We can still move as smooth on the old ballroom floor. I'll wear my Sunday best, you wear your favorite dress. Lock up the door. Let's dance that old dance once more. You hung around, you kept my feet on the ground when I acted as proud as a fool. We were kids, now we've grown, we've got ones of our own. We've got to raise by the old golden rule. But somehow it seems, maybe somehow our dreams got discarded somewhere along that road, when all that was true could be found in the blue of your eyes that still sparkled and glowed. Let's dance that old dance once more. We can still move as smooth on the old ballroom floor. I'll wear my Sunday best, you wear your favorite dress. Lock up the door. Let's dance that old dance once more. Frost King has come, and with a flick of his thumb, turned our windows into Renaissance art. While we sit round the fire, with one no need to inquire about the ways of the soul and the heart. Now the years have passed us by like a soft whispered sigh, never noticing youth as it flew. It's easy to tell that you wear your age well, not trying to prove you're still new. Let's dance that old dance once more. We can still move as smooth on the old ballroom floor. I'll wear my Sunday best, you wear your favorite dress. Lock up the door. Let's dance that old dance once more. Let's dance that old dance once more. We can still move as smooth on the old ballroom floor. I'll wear my Sunday best, you wear your favorite dress. Lock up the door. Let's dance that old dance once more. Thank you so much. We're all in the suit. I'm going to put this guitar down and mute it and pick up the six-string guitar, the old D41, for the rest of this first set. So I forget, Doug, am I doing two songs here, or are you doing two songs? What happens next? You've got
We're doing Road Worth Driving Down.
Oh, we're going to do that. You're correct. And that works out perfect to the song that follows that. Although I didn't plan it that way. You know, we just have such a good time playing together. If you've ever been a musician, and doesn't matter what kind of instrument, whether it be the piano or the fiddle, and you imagine when you're a young person the best person that can have sitting next to you hearing these fabulous notes, one of those people on guitar would be Doug Smith. And I've played with a lot of great guitarists over the years, but playing with Doug is always this unbridled thrill.
Thanks, Tom. Same here.
And we've known each other for 30-some years now.
Yep. Oh, yeah, I don't know.
This is a fancy new pickup with a pedal. So, yep, it's off, by God.
Cool.
It might work. I've only used it once, so who knows? So a title cut of a 2018 album that I did, inspired by a perfect day driving south of Cody, Wyoming, trying to get back to the Midwest after my father had died. And it was just one of those times where you knew you were in the right place at the right time. Masood, it sounds like this guitar is really loud in the monitor right now. Just bring it down a little bit if you would. Thanks to Masood for doing our sound tonight. Our beloved Gary Furlow is in Venice right now. He's in Venice. I'm so glad he got away and got a little bit of a vacation. That sounds great. We'll go from there. Song called A Road Worth Driving Down, because if there was any phrase that could sum up the luck of being able to travel and play all those towns, all those states, all those concerts, all those festivals, it would be this song, A Road Worth Driving Down. South of Cody, Wyoming 125. The daybreak sky is alive. As the early morning rain subsides, there are purples, reds, and blues on this sleepy Sunday sunrise. It is clear what I must do, so I marvel through the windshield, give thanks to the goddess of chance for the privilege of being here as those colors began to dance. Stop beside the two-lane, hear the rangeland's lonesome sound, reflect upon the pleasures of a road worth driving down. Nebraska sandhills, vacant highway 2, back to the land that I once knew, where my parents weathered the worst hard times. The prairie towns are nearly gone. Pheasants rise up from the ditch as sunflowers greet the dawn. So I marvel through the windshield, give thanks to the goddess of chance for the privilege of being here as prairie lights begin to dance. Stop beside the two-lane, hear the magpie's mournful sound, reflect upon the pleasures of a road worth driving down. US 97 spans the Columbia River blue in the great Northwest where I found you. Sunset on the Cascade Peaks finds me not alone. You are my constant friend and northern star who will journey with me home. So we marvel through the windshield, give thanks to the goddess of chance for the privilege of being here as light on Mount Adams begins to dance. Stop beside the two-lane, hear the river's rushing sound, reflect upon the pleasures of a road worth driving down. Stop beside the two-lane where those memories abound, reflect upon the pleasures of a road worth driving down. Thank you so much, friends. It was a magical Sunday morning, as you often have in the West, when the weather conditions are right and you're not scared half to death by the highway and the snow and the ice. So, are you doing a song now, Doug?
I am doing a couple tunes.
Great.
All right.
So, how about a big round of applause for one of the great guitarists of our generations, our beloved Doug Smith.
Thanks. Thanks. My last CD project was arranging some songs from American history. It's called Guitar Americana, and I had so much fun doing this because it really recalled my childhood, all these songs I had growing up. And this was one of them. This is an arrangement I did of the song Erie Canal. Thanks very much. Okay, I'd like to try something. I feel like I'm among friends here. This is a tune that was written by Portland classical guitarist Brighton Johansson. And he wrote this on a nylon string, and having a capo at the 7th fret of a nylon string is kind of unusual because it joins the neck here, and it doesn't give you a lot of room to work with. But he wrote this delightful little tune called The Magic Serenade. This is by Brian Johansson. Thanks very much. Brian Johansson, The Magic Serenade.
What a beautiful journey that was, Doug. Thank you very much for that. That was just wonderful. Speaking of journeys, here's a song from the Rand McNally School of Songwriting by a good buddy. This is a night that's all about friends, and this particular song was written by a buddy of mine who lived in Rock Springs for decades and now has moved back to Michigan. We still talk every week on the phone, and he's just a prolific songwriter and a wonderful storyteller. And he took upon himself to write this song about the Lincoln Highway, the first transcontinental highway across the United States, Highway 30. And it's called the Lincoln Highway Song. And I just always wanted to learn this song. And I played this gig this summer for a Chevy club in the metropolis of Amboy, Washington. So I thought, I'm playing for Chevy Club, I had to learn a car song. But I didn't want to learn Little Deuce Coupe or any of that stuff, so I learned this one instead. It's called the Lincoln Highway Song by Chris Kennedy. Standing in the sagebrush, battered by the wind. Hey, there it was, I saw it. Drive by that thing again. There's a marker in the concrete from 80 years ago, when this country's blacktop was the country's only road from coast to coast. Now the fools have long since taken the bronze of Lincoln's head, but an arrow and an L still point the way in white and blue and red. For any wistful wanderer, weary of the interstate, for any troubled troubadour, or a minstrel bound too late who needs to go. Down the road, who was the first to think of that? Down the road, in an old Cadillac. Down the road, how far are you going, Mac? We're looking for the Lincoln Highway down the road. Well, put yourself in 1905, when no one had a car. You might try to drive from coast to coast, but you wouldn't get too far. You'd wind up being stranded in some lonesome muddy field, with locals staring at the stranger in that crazy automobile. They didn't know that just a few years later, there'd be gravel and concrete from New York to California, America's main street, 3,200 miles in only 20 days, with motor courts and filling stations, with guidebooks and cafes to help you go. Down the road instead of down the track. Down the road in an open Cadillac. Down the road, how far are you going, Mac? We're looking for the Lincoln Highway down the road. Well, the Lincoln's mostly gone now, but pieces of it last, but not many of us see 'em, 'cause we're driving by too fast. But there's a marker in the concrete, a marker in the sage, an old hotel that's boarded up, that cost $2 a day so long ago. So as you do your traveling, as you hear the highway call, try to read behind the letters on the faded old brick wall. Try to scratch beneath the circus of this monster interstate. You know there's memories on Route 30, but the hour's turning late. They'll have to go. Down the road, it'll never be like that. Down the road, in an open Cadillac. Down the road, how far are you going, Mac? We're looking for the Lincoln Highway down the road. Down the road, instead of down the track. Down the road, in an open Cadillac. Down the road, how far are you going, Mac? We're looking for the Lincoln Highway down the road. The Lincoln Highway song. A couple of weeks ago, I was in Butte, Montana, and Butte has a lot of fond memories for me. The biggest town in the United States between Chicago and San Francisco at the turn of the 20th century. And actually, we went by the old hotel that I wrote this song about, which is still there, and the sign is still on the upper story there, the Towey Hotel, Towey. It was owned by a woman by the name of Bessie Mulhern, immigrated from Ireland, and worked there and ran it until she passed away at the age of 96 in 1996. When I first arrived in Butte, it was down on its luck, to say the least. The mines had closed, and people were just very, very discouraged, and a lot of people thought that Butte would just dry up and blow away, but it didn't happen. She was determined to tell me stories of Butte, and I got to know a lot of good friends there that got to visit on this trip. But this song kind of tells the story, a little microcosm of Butte, Montana, a song that's in a book of great American folk songs in Europe that I wrote in the mid-'80s. It's called Bessie and Me. The middle of Montana, a dirty cold night, I inquired of lodging in a rough-looking bar. They told me of Bessie's. They said that she welcomed all sinner and saint, from near and from far. Above an old bookstore, the narrow stairs beckoned to a tired old traveler, fresh from the road. At the top of the flight was a weathered old woman with an accent as thick as a piece of old sod. It's just Bessie and me this evening in Butte, Montana, in her empty hotel on a cold Friday night, with the coast of the miners, the old threadbare carpets, 40 rooms vacant in the fading twilight, their windows shut tight against the morning. In 1909, these oak doors first opened to the immigrant dreams of 1,000 strong men. In the 30s, young Bessie took the ship here from Ireland to be a maid for her uncle, to cook and to mend. She married a man who came from her own country. They carved out a life there beneath the big sky. Their boarders were hard men who toiled in the darkness for the copper and the silver. They lived and they died. But it's just Bessie and me this evening in Butte, Montana, in her empty hotel on a cold Friday night, with the ghosts of the miners, the old threadbare carpets, 40 rooms vacant in the fading twilight, your windows shut tight against the morning. Bessie spoke of her youth and of the Easter Rebellion, of a lad that she loved that has never been found. She told tales of the 30s here in western Montana, of the unions who protected the men deep in the ground. Butte was a good town, I can still hear her say. The men were hard-working, the churches were strong, but now the churches are abandoned, the old buildings are rotting, the Berkeley pit and the deep shaft mines have been idle too long. It's just Bessie and me this evening in Butte, Montana, in her empty hotel on a cold Friday night, with the ghosts of the miners, the old threadbare carpets, 40 rooms vacant in the fading twilight, their windows shut tight against the morning. Tonight I walk down the streets of old Butte, Montana, imagining the Friday nights this town didn't know. The drinking and the fighting, the spirit of adventure that summed up this brave land back so long ago. Bessie's rooms now are spotless, the towels are clean, the hallways ring hollow with no one around. Like this Friday night Main Street of old Butte, Montana, there's the echoes of the past, but there's hardly a sound. It's just Bessie and me this evening in Butte, Montana, in her empty hotel on a cold Friday night, with the ghosts of the miners, the old threadbare carpets, 40 rooms vacant in the fading twilight, their windows shut tight against the morning. Thank you so very much. Well, we're going to do this song. It's probably one of Gordon Lightfoot's most popular tunes. We did this at the Artichoke 50th anniversary night, and my bass player, Donnie, wasn't able to be there, so Gary Furlow played bass with us on this. But tonight we're just going to do it, the two of us, and then we'll do a whole band arrangement at the concert at the Alberta Rose on the 17th. But this is a song he wrote about his first divorce. I never thought, when I knew Gordon Lightfoot back in the day, back in the 70s, I wasn't even married once back then. But he wound up only being married 3 times, and I wound up having one up on him over the years. So, but my 4th wife is a winner. So.
Yay!
If you could read my mind, love, what a tale my thoughts could tell. Just like an old-time movie about a ghost from a wishing well, in a castle dark or a fortress strong, with chains upon my feet, to know that ghost is me. I won't ever be set free as long as I'm a ghost you can't see.
If I could read your mind, love, what a tale your thoughts could tell. Just like a paperback novel, the kind the drugstore sells. When you reach the part where the heartache comes, the hero would be me. But heroes often fail, and you won't read that book again, because the ending's just too hard to take.
I walk away like a movie star who gets burned in a 3-way script. Enter number 2, a movie queen to play the scene of bringing all the good things out in me. But for now, love, let's be real. I never thought I could act this way, and I've gotta say that I just don't get it. I don't know where we went wrong, but the feeling's gone, and I just can't get it back. If you could read my mind, love, what a tale my thoughts could tell. Just like an old-time movie about a ghost from a wishing well, in a castle dark or a fortress strong, with chains upon my feet. The story always ends, and if you read between the lines, you'll know that I'm just trying to understand the feelings that you lack. I never thought I could act this way, and I've gotta say that I just don't get it. I don't know where we went wrong, but the feeling's gone, and I just can't get it back.
Thank you.
Well, I think I mentioned that I've known Doug for a long time now. I've known Doug since 1991, but there's a fellow in here I've known even longer. So I'd like to welcome Mr. Terry Prohaska to the stage to do this song with us. A song by another old friend who did one of his very last concerts in my living room in La Center, Washington, 2 years ago this month, bless his heart. After being not able to travel and play and concertize during the pandemic, I was so pleased he was able to get out on the road one more time. And he loved the book that I wrote, which he inspired the title for. Long story, but it's in the book. But Bill wrote this song, and we're going to play this for all of our friends here tonight and for the experience of being here at Artichoke. And in particular, for our friends Paul and Margot Duber down there in Cannon Beach, because it's a song. I don't know, I just always think of the coast when I think about this song. So Mr. Bill Staines, timeless folk singer, songwriter, passed away almost exactly, he did the concert at the house almost exactly 2 years ago, when he only lived another few weeks after that. So
December 5th, 2021.
I hope you're going to remember the date of my death so vividly as that.
I remember your birthday. You know, Tom, we must be getting kind of old. We didn't used to sit.
No, and I hate sitting and playing and singing with a white-hot passion, but I'm hoping to get some relief in my knees this year. We'll see what happens.
Can everyone hear the auto harp okay through my microphone? I opted not to plug in tonight.
I was born in the path of the winter wind, raised where the mountains are old. Their springtime waters came dancing down, and I remember the tales that they told. The whistling ways of my younger days too quickly have faded on by, but all of those memories linger on like the light in the fading sky. River, take me along in your sunshine. Sing me your song ever moving and winding and free. You rolling old river, you changing old river. Let you and me, river, run down to the sea.
I've been to the city and back again. I've been moved by some things that I've learned. Met a lot of good people and I've called them friends. Felt the change when the seasons turn. I've heard all the songs that the children sing, and I've listened to love's melodies. Felt my own music within me rise, like the wind in the autumn trees.
River, take me along in your sunshine. Sing me your song ever moving and winding and free. You roll an old river, you change an old river. Let's you and me, river, run down to the sea. One day when the flowers are blooming still, one day when the grass is still green, my rolling waters will round the bend and flow into the open sea. So here's to the rainbow that's followed me here, and here's to the friends that I know. Here's to the song that's within me now. I will sing it wherever I go. River, take me along in your sunshine. Sing me your song ever moving and winding and free. You roll an old river, you change an old river. Let's you and me, river, run down to the sea. River, take me along in your sunshine. Sing me your song ever moving and winding and free. You roll an old river, you change an old river. Let's you and me, river, run down to the sea. Mr. Terry Prohaska.
Thank you.
All right.
Time for a little break right now. We'll just take a short break.
Oh, we're doing that second set. I've got to strap this thing on again.
Yeah. We feel no pity for you, Terry. We have to strap this stuff back and forth all night. So we'll take a little break right now, back in just a few minutes. Great to have you here. Thanks for being our friend and for coming out for music here at Artichoke Music on Powell. All right, well, thank you again so much for coming tonight. We've got some fun stuff to do this set. A couple of these tunes we've never done together on stage before, including this one. And my old friend Gord said that this was always his favorite song when he was a young man. Of course, as a songwriter, your favorite shifts constantly, but this meant such a difference to him in his life when Ian and Sylvia picked it up and eventually led to a recording contract and John Court coming out and becoming part of the Grossman organization with Odetta and Bob Dylan. So this was one of the songs, this song and a song that he derided, of course, in his film that came out for Love and Me. He decided he didn't like that one much anymore, but he still liked this one. In the early morning rain, with $1 in my hand and an aching in my heart, and my pockets full of sand. I'm a long way from home. Lord, I miss my darling. So in the early morning rain, with no place to go, out on runway number 9, big 707 said to go, while I'm stuck here on the ground where the cold wind blows. Well, the liquor tasted good and the women all were fast. Well, now there she goes, my friend. She'll be rolling down at last. Hear the mighty engines roar, see the silver bird on high. She's away and westward bound, far above the clouds she'll fly, where the morning rain don't fall and the sun always shines. She'll be flying over my home in about 3 hours' time. This old airport's got me down. It's no earthly good to me, 'cause I'm stuck here on the ground, cold and drunk as I can be. You can't jump a jet plane like you can a freight train, so I'd best be on my way in the early morning rain. You can't jump a jet plane like you can a freight train, so I'd best be on my way in the early morning rain. A song, of course, he wrote when he was homesick for Canada, when he was going to music school for just about 1.5 years down in LA, and quite a change. He learned how to write in all the keys, but he also later on would get into the bad habit on the guitar of using a capo. He always called it capoed music is what he did, and that's still what we do. That's what folk music is, he used to say, is capoed music. So if you get these guys, these music school cats or classical players, they're going to just look at you when you put that capo on and just shake their heads and say, I'm not going to play that crap.
Chet Atkins had a joke that there were a lot of bluegrass musicians in West Virginia, and he said someone in West Virginia yelled "B flat," and you could hear capos sliding for 5 miles.
We're going to do one instrumental piece, and then we're going to get our good friend Terry Prohaska up to do another song that he is going to do at the Lightfoot thing. But this particular song is a song that's the theme song of my radio broadcast, which has been on the air since 1985. 1985. And it's how I met Doug. Doug had a contract with American Gramophone Records in Omaha, Nebraska, when I was doing the show and the television show in Omaha, Nebraska. And so we met there in romantic Omaha, Nebraska, that mecca of the cultural landscape in the United States.
Got some great steaks.
But when the show became nationally syndicated, and I had this offer to do this television show that was paid for by this network in Branson, Missouri, we did it in Omaha, but it was paid for by this network in Branson. I had to come up with an original song pretty quickly. And speaking of Chet Atkins, I went back to my old Chet Atkins training, which wasn't very much, but it was enough to know that that's not the right note. Let's take a look here. And came up with this tune, which was and remains the theme of the show. My great friend, Cliff Jones, a really wonderful acoustic bass player, played with me for a long time. Cliff had just shaved off his beard, so I thought, well, there's the name of a tune, Cliff's Whiskers. So that's how it came to me, and I shamelessly stole whatever licks I could actually play and remember from my Chet Atkins days. And this is the result. Cliff's Whiskers. Let's just make sure this thing's in tune. It's an instrumental, so I don't have my voice to cover up the tuning here. Close enough.
All right.
Cliff's Whiskers. Let's welcome Terry Prohaska back to the stage here.
Yeah, Terry.
This has always seemed like such a great, comfortable song to me, and Terry wanted to do it, so Doug and I are more than happy to kind of play along behind him. It's a song from the great album Old Dan's Records, which came out, I believe in about 1972 or something like that. Terry might have more information. But anyway, a song called It's Worth Believing.
It's always such a pleasure to share the stage with you two. Thank you.
And likewise.
And the Old Dance Records album will be well represented at our Lightfoot tribute concert on November 17th. This is a song from that album. My longtime, one of my best friends and musical compatriot, Rich Gillette, and I will be performing together at that show. But speaking of Lightfoot anecdotes, for any of you that play the guitar, you might know that the B string is the most difficult string to tune. And the reason for that is because the interval between the B string and the G string above it is different than the interval between all of the other strings. So it makes it kind of tricky to get in tune with all of the chords. And Gordon Lightfoot knew that, and he used to call the B string the killer bees. There's a warm wind tonight, and the moon turns the tide. When the stars take their ride, she'll believe in where she goes. I don't know, she won't tell me what it is that makes her act like this. But I've got a funny feeling that it's me. It's worth believing. Should I ask, do you like to go walking on the sand? Listen to the sea. Could it be someone kind? Could it be that I'm a fool? There's something wrong with you. But I've got a funny feeling that it's me. It's worth believing. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. There's a breeze from the shore and the waves overlap. When I've called in the cat, she'll go walking. Then she cries to herself in the night when I'm asleep. She lies awake and weeps. Could it be something new? Someone older has returned? Or is it just a game? But I've got a funny feeling that it's me. It's worth believing. La da da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. La da 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 da. There's a warm wind tonight, and the moon turns the tide. When the stars take their ride, she'll believe in where she goes. I don't know, she won't tell me what it is that makes her act like this. Should I ask, do you like to go walking on the shore? Listen to the sea. Could it be someone kind? Could it be that I'm a fool? There's something wrong with you. And I've got a funny feeling that it's me. It's worth believing. La-da-da, 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 la-da-da.
Terry Prohaska.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
So Terry and I have done a lot of shows together through the years, and gosh, it's always wonderful to have him join us on stage again. A very dear companion, which is the name of this next song we're going to do for you, a song that I wrote about musicians and really the wealth to be had in this crazy business. I know that it looks like a glamorous life and that there's millions and millions of dollars involved, and Travis Kelce and tight bodice hugging outfits that we folk singers wear as we prepare for our kick routines. But it's not all it's not all it's cracked up to be. Sorry, I couldn't help it. But anyway, this is a song about dear companions that I wrote, and Doug's always liked this song. We enjoy doing it together. Doug's got a great guitar part on this, so we're going to play it for you tonight. Dear companions, on this lonesome life's highway, pointed me to the byway, so deserted and unknown when the going got rough. You walked beside me patiently, poured another shot of whiskey, then showed me the road back home. Now the rogues and the scoundrels warned me about the pitfalls, steered me away from the guardrails, not as strong as they appeared, though sometimes I fell prey to appetite and desire. Most of the tragedies I endured were not as bad as I had feared, thanks to dear companions on this lonesome life's highway, pointed me to the byway, so deserted and unknown when the going got rough. You walked beside me patiently, poured another shot of whiskey, then showed me the road back home. Now the travelers and the pickers who have shared my weary road help me to bear the load when the songs did not work out. A fraternity of outlaws living somewhere on the edge, making music that makes a difference. Of that we had no doubt. Those dear companions on this lonesome life's highway pointed me to the byway, so deserted and unknown when the going got rough. You walked beside me patiently, poured another shot of whiskey, then showed me the road back home. Seductive smiles and cotton dresses, thigh-high boots and raven tresses, their common sense deserted them, I guess, those nights they spent with me. But of all those wives and lovers, I remain ever grateful. All the best evenings I ever had was in their loving company. Those dear companions on this lonesome life's highway pointed me to the byway, so deserted and unknown when the going got rough. You walked beside me patiently, poured another shot of whiskey, then showed me the road back home. Close friends, never forgotten, who have shared my winter wine. Together we have bided time, and I am thankful for my son, his own journey underway. Sometimes I miss those younger days. I have regrets, but mostly pride in the man I have become, thanks to dear companions on this lonesome life's highway, pointed me to the byway, so deserted and unknown when the going got rough. You walked beside me patiently, poured another shot of whiskey, then showed me the road back home. Dear companions on this lonesome life's highway, pointed me to the byway, so deserted and unknown when the going got rough. You walked beside me patiently, poured another shot of whiskey, then showed me the road back home. But believe me, it's not every dear companion you meet along the way that can pick guitar like that. So, kind of my signature song here about being out on the road. The 4 aspects of being a folk singer for more than 50 years. More than 50 years, 51 years now, actually. And those 4 important aspects of being on the road are good books to read. And it's always preferable if you're on nice wide open spaces, nice roads like in eastern Oregon, western Nebraska, northern Wyoming, places like that. And of course, good wine, good red wine, prerequisite after you get there. Not while you're there driving, but after you get there. So taking the idea from the William Nelson Moon book, which was my traveling Bible for all those years, Blue Highways. I still love that book. How many people have read Blue Highways? Oh, this is good. The percentage is bigger than most audiences, believe me. So most people just looked at me like I'm nuts. But Blue Highways by William Nelson Moon, just a book of philosophy, a book of travel, a book of geography, a book of ideas, a book about separation between our regions in this beautiful country. But it gave me the idea for this song called Blue Roads, Red Wine. 2 things I dearly love and a couple more along the way. Blue roads, red wine, and a rose-scented woman. That's all this old fool needs. Just a blue road, red wine on a cold Wyoming morning, and a few good books to read. In the shadow of Mount Rainier, a voice whispers, soft and clear, of the promise of a young man whose miles had gone too fast. As that mountain fades to blue, I wonder what became of you when my only heart's desire took me home to you at last. So give me that blue road, red wine, and a rose-scented woman. That's all this old fool needs. Just a blue road, red wine on a cold Dakota morning, and a few good books to read. Through the eyes of my only son, I remember 21, 2-lane road so carefree, and my heart belonged to none. Never mind the busted cars, just my thumb would take me far, past abandoned routes and railroads, where the wild deer still run. So give me that blue road, red wine, and a rose-scented woman. That's all this old fool needs. Just a blue road, red wine on a cold Wyoming morning, and a few good books to read. Now the years have disappeared, like my taste for lager beer. I borrow to the limit to live the life I've had. From the bedrooms to the bars, tasting life from a mason jar, turning north towards old Montana when the weather gets too bad. So give me that blue road, red wine, and a rose-scented woman. That's all this old fool needs. Just a blue road, red wine on a cold Alaska morning, and a few good books to read. Now give me that blue road, red wine, and a rose-scented woman. That's all this old fool needs. Just a blue road, red wine on a cold Alaska morning, and a few good books to read. Thank you so much. Doug, do you have a nail file over there? I know you usually have a nail file right next to you. I'm gonna borrow Doug's nail file because I've got a nail emergency here. This is another thing as folk singers, you got to worry about your nails, but not much, because it's not like I'm Doug Smith, but the nails are important. So while I trim this up a little bit before I lose the whole damn thing, Doug, would you do one solo piece for us?
Sure. Okay. Can anyone tell what tuning I'm in? Dadgad. This is another tune that I haven't done very often in front of people. In fact, never. But I feel like I'm among friends tonight. This is another tune from my Americana CD. This is Red River Valley. Thank you, sir.
Well, we hadn't planned this, but we'll stay in Texas for one more song. From the Red River Valley, if you head south a good distance, you'll come to the beautiful town of San Antonio, where I wrote this song in the mid-'90s when I was playing down at the Kerrville Folk Festival there, and got away from Kerrville and was able to visit both San Antonio and do a concert in Austin after the festival. But the San Antonio time was very special. It was very humid. It was about 100 degrees and very humid, as it often gets down there in that river valley. So when I got back to Nebraska, when I drove the old van back to Nebraska, I would go to the YMCA every day when I was home, and I always would work out, and then I'd go use the sauna afterwards. And going into the sauna reminded me so much of San Antonio. I was able to write this song in 20 minutes. I didn't even have paper to write it on. I just made it up in my head as I went along, and it came out just like this. And I know lots of you know this song of mine, so sing along if you know it. Clap along if you don't. Won't you be my rose at the Riverwalk, a Texas fleur-de-lis? Bring the margaritas in the moonlight, we'll have a Lone Star Jubilee. Hear the big guitar bands a-playing, mariachi melodies. Be my rose of the Riverwalk, remember how we used to be. There are lanterns hanging from the bridges, brightly colored lights of red and blue. Short skirts swaying in the evening breeze, reminding me of you. Young people linger in the doorway, sweating as the sun goes down. Deep in the heart of old San Antone, there is romance to be found. So won't you be my rose at the Riverwalk, a Texas fleur-de-lis? Bring the margaritas in the moonlight, we'll have a Lone Star Jubilee. Hear the big guitar bands a-playing, mariachi melodies. Be my rose of the Riverwalk, remember how we used to be. There's an old man painting the Alamo, painting lizards and Cocopelli too. Soft cotton shirt for the hot July, a sombrero to keep him cool. Underneath a red umbrella, two lovers bid a fond goodbye. There's heat in the humid southern nights, there's passion in their eyes. So won't you be my rose at the Riverwalk, a Texas fleur-de-lis? Bring the margaritas in the moonlight, we'll have a Lone Star Jubilee. Hear the big guitar bands a-playing, mariachi melodies. Be my rose of the Riverwalk, remember how we used to be. Doug Smith. So won't you be my rose at the Riverwalk, Texas fleur-de-lis? Bring the margaritas in the moonlight, we'll have a Lone Star Jubilee. Hear the big guitar bands a-playing, mariachi melodies. Be my rose of the Riverwalk, remember how we used to be. There are barges floating down the rivers, diners with a glass of wine, a pretty senorita with a crimson dress from another place and time. A fiesta of light and color, flamenco dancing in the city square. The loving sounds of the Spanish tongue tell me I need to bring you here if you will be my rose of the Riverwalk, a Texas fleur-de-lis. Bring the margaritas in the moonlight, we'll have a Lone Star Jubilee. Hear the big guitar bands a-playing, mariachi melodies. Be my rose of the Riverwalk, remember how we used to be. Won't you be my rose of the Riverwalk, hey, a Texas fleur-de-lis? Bring the margaritas in the moonlight, we'll have a Lone Star Jubilee. Hear the big guitar bands a-playing, mariachi melodies. Be my rose of the Riverwalk, remember how we used to be. Be my rose of the Riverwalk, bloom once more for me. The Rose of the Riverwalk. Well, I've been looking forward to doing these couple of songs all night. Finished off with these couple of songs. So the first one is a momentous song in many ways. I mean, aside from the somewhat substantial length of it, it's also a song that, for many songwriters, including myself, made it okay to sing and write about history. This song was influenced by the great Bob Gibson, not the pitcher, but Bob Gibson, the folk singer, who wrote a Civil War trilogy. His daughter's going to be there at the event that night, Bob Gibson's daughter, Meridian Green. Bob is an unsung and forgotten largely person in the early folk revival, but he was a 12-string player, and Lightfoot loved him, and he had a big influence on Gord, and it kind of gave Gord the idea to write this tune. He wrote it as a commission piece for the 100th anniversary of Canada in 1967. Yeah. So we've worked out these parts for it, and we'll see how it goes. We've never actually done this on stage before, but this is great practice before we do it in front of 400 people on the 17th of November. Yep. And again, if you're thinking about going but you haven't gotten your tickets, get them soon, because I predict it's going to sell out in the next couple of weeks. I played this song quite a bit as a young man, but I hadn't played it at all in the last 30 or 35 years. So it's fun to revisit it again, particularly with having Doug play with me.
Gordon Lightfoot's lead guitarist on Sunday Concert, Red Shea, was a huge influence on me, so this is fun.
Red played on all the early albums up through Sunday Concert, and he also provided a little bit of the work right up into the Sundown album. There was a time in this fair land when the railroad did not run, when the wild, majestic mountains stood alone against the sun. Long before the white man and long before the wheel, when the green, dark forest was too silent to be real. But time has no beginnings and history has no bounds. As to this verdant country they came from all around. They sailed upon her waterways and they walked her forests tall. Built the mines, the mills, and the factories for the good of us all. And when the young man's fancy was turning to the spring, the railroad men grew restless for to hear their hammers ring. Their minds were overflowing with the visions of their day, and many a fortune won and lost, and many a debt to pay. Or they looked in the future, and what did they see? They saw an iron road running from the sea to the sea, bringing the goods to a young growing land, all up from the seaports and into their hands. Look away, said they, across this mighty land, from the eastern shore to the western strand, bringing the workers and bring up the rails. We gotta lay down the tracks and tear up the trails. Open our heart, let the lifeblood flow. Gotta get on our way, 'cause we're moving too slow. Bring in the workers and bring up the rails. We gotta lay down the tracks and tear up the trails. Open her heart, let the lifeblood flow. Gotta get on our way, 'cause we're moving too slow. Get on our way, 'cause we're moving too slow. Behind the blue Rockies, the sun is declining. The stars, they come stealing at the close of the day. Across the wide prairies, our loved ones lie sleeping. Across the wide oceans in a place far away. We are the navvies who work upon the railway, swinging our hammers in the bright blazing sun, living on stew and drinking bad whiskey, bending our backs till the railroad is done. We are the navvies who work upon the railway, swinging our hammers in the bright blazing sun, laying down track and building the bridges, bending our backs till the railroad is done. So over the mountains and over the plains, into the Muskeg and into the rain, up the St. Lawrence on our way to Gaspé, swinging our hammers and drawing our pay, driving them in and tying them down, away to the bunkhouse and into the town. $1 a day and a place for my head, a drink to the living, a toast to the dead. Oh, the song of the future has been sung. All the battles have been won. On the mountain tops we stand, all the world at our command. We have opened up the soil with our teardrops and our toil. Oh, there was a time in this fair land when the railroad did not run, when the wild, majestic mountains stood alone against the sun. Long before the white man and long before the wheel, when the green, dark forest was too silent to be real. When the green, dark forest was too silent to be real. And many are the dead men, too silent to be real.
Kill.
Well, that was fun. We'll have our great bass player Donnie Wright playing with us that night as well, and looking forward to that. This next song is a song that I did here at Artichoke during the worst of the pandemic, and Doug learned the lead part a long time ago. Doug loves this song, so we have to do this one more Gordon Lightfoot song to finish off this night. And typically, if I often don't even do one in a show, but this is a unique period of time. When we got the news, Debbie and I got the news in Maui that Gordon had died on May 1st. It was a it was a very tough time, very emotional time, and it still is. And so I hope, Gord, you were happy with that version of that song. And as I say often, my life would not have been the same without his help and encouragement in my younger years, and I owe him so very much. So we'll finish off the night with this wonderful song of his, Since the Weather's Beginning to Turn.
Which one is it? Ah, of course. I'm capoed at the 8th fret. That's kind of unusual, but it sure works. Thanks so much for coming out tonight. This has been a wonderful night. As always, it's great to play with Tom, and it's been a lot of fun.
And Artichoke music is so very special. I hope that you come often and support Artichoke. Like many other nonprofits, it's had a particularly rough time during the pandemic that they're still trying to dig their way out of. So your support and your regular contributions make a big difference. Debbie and I contribute every month, and it's a unique kind of a place. It really does remind me of the little coffee houses that I used to play at when I was in my 20s around the country, and it's very special. Very few places like this in the United States. In any case, we'll leave you with this one as the weather starts to get colder. The lamp is burning low upon my tabletop. The snow is softly falling. The air is still in the silence of my room. I hear your voice softly calling. If I could only have you near to breathe a sigh or two, I would be happy just to hold the hands I love upon this winter night with you. The smoke is rising in the shadows overhead. My glass is almost empty. I read again between the lines upon each page the words of a love you sent me. If I could know within my heart that you were lonely too, I would be happy just to hold the hands I love upon this winter night with you. The fire is dying now, my lamp is growing dim. The shades of night are lifting. The morning light steals across my window pane where webs of snow are drifting. If I could only have you near to breathe a sigh or two, I would be happy just to hold the hands I love and to be once again with you upon this winter night with you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you so very much. Such a wonderful audience. Thank you so very much.